Hi, I'm Beatrice, and the book I'm going to examine today is Toni Morrison's The Bluest. The design of the book is very simple. It's paperback cover with only one illustration on the front cover. There's no end sheet, end leaf, fly leaf between the cover and the text block. The leaves are binded with glue and attached directly to the spine. It only consists of 220 pages, so it's very small and compact book, but the cover tells you a lot about what the book is. So from the cover we can see that the author is the winner of 1993 Nobel Prize for Literature. The cover also has praises for the book from New York Times, Washington Post, Daily Telegraph, Times Literary Supplement, so you can sort of determine that this book is a high quality literature book. For the front matter, or the information at the beginning of a book before the actual content, we have the first page is the information about the author, and then we can see there's a list of published work by the author, fiction or non-fiction. The title page, the imprint or copyright page. The imprint tells you a lot about the publication year, the edition, the publisher as well. So this edition I have is published in 1999 by Vintage, but the first publication of the book is in 1970, and it also reprinted in 1994 with the addition of afterwork from the author written in 1993. So this edition I have also contains the afterword by the author for Antimatter. World Catalog listed 65 formats for this book, including 53 print books, 7 ebooks, 2 musical score, CD, cassette, ebook, e-audiobook. It is also published in 20 different languages. Because of this book is a highly praised and highly rated by critics, I also went to Goodreads and Common Sense Media to understand more about reader response for this book. So in Goodreads, 93% of the reader give positive feedback for this book. It has 4 stars out of 5. The interesting fact of this book is that it is listed as one of the best book in 20th century, but it is also listed as most depressing book. Common Sense Media suggests that the appropriate age for the reader of this book is 15 plus, while readers in Common Sense Media suggest that the appropriate age for this book is 17 years plus because of the violent and sexual theme of the book. I've had this book for a few months, but I haven't really read it until recently, and since then the condition of the book has deteriorated rapidly. So the cover is folded by accident, of course. The leaves here is almost fell off. There's dog's ear everywhere. There are underlines in phrases that I like. So after I read it, I can understand why this is one of the best book in 20th century. It is a poignant story of how society can determine how we value ourselves and how it creates vicious circles of self-hatred. But what happened to the characters are very repulsive, but the author managed to craft it beautifully in a very poetic way. So you can feel the sadness, the grief of the characters. So this is now one of my favorite books. Thank you.
One winter, Pauline discovered she was pregnant. When she told Charlie, he surprised her by being pleased. He began to drink less and come home more often. They eased back into a relationship more like the early days of their marriage. When he asked if she was tired or wanted him to bring her something from the store. In this state of ease, Pauline stopped doing day work and returned to her own housekeeping. But the loneliness in those two rooms had not gone away. When the winter sun hit the peeling green paint of the kitchen chairs, when the smoked hogs were boiling in the pot, when all she could hear was the truck delivering furniture downstairs, she thought about back home, about how she had been all alone most of the time too, but that this lonesomeness was different. Then she stopped staring at the green chairs, at the delivery truck. She went to the movies instead. There in the dark, her memory was refreshed and she succumbed to her earlier dreams. Along with the idea of romantic love, she was introduced to another, physical beauty, probably the most destructive ideas in the history of human thought. Both originated in envy, thrived in insecurity, and ended in disillusion. In equating physical beauty with virtue, she stripped her mind, bound it, and collected self-contempt by the heap. She forgot lust and simple caring for. She regarded love as possessive mating and romance as the goal of the spirit. It would be for her a wellspring from which she would draw the most destructive emotions, deceiving the lover and seeking to imprison the beloved, curtailing freedom in every way. She was never able, after her education in the movies, to look at a face and not assign it some category in the scale of absolute beauty, and the scale was one she observed in full from the silver screen. There at last were the darkened woods, the lonely roads, the river banks, the gentle knowing eyes. There the flawed become whole, the blind sighted, and the lame and halt threw away their crutches. There death was dead, and people met every gesture in a cloud of music. There the black and white images came together, making a magnificent whole, all projected through the ray of light from above and behind. It was really a simple pleasure, but she learned all there was to love and all there was to hate. The onliest time I'd be happy seemed like was when I was in the picture show. Every time I went. I'd go early before the show started. They'd cut off the lights and everything be black. Then the screen would light up and I'd move right on in them pictures. White men taking such good care of their women, and they all dressed up in big clean houses with the bathtubs right in the same room with the toilet. Them pictures gave me a lot of pleasure, but it made coming home hard and looking at Jolie hard. I don't know. I remember one time I went to see Clark Gable and Jean Harlow. I fixed my hair up like I'd seen hers on a magazine, a part on the side with one little curl on my forehead. It looked just like her, well, almost just like. Anyway, I sat in that show with my hair done up that way and had a good time. I thought I'd see it through to the end again, and I got up to get me some candy. I was sitting back in my seat and I'd taken a big bite of that candy and it pulled a tooth right off my mouth. I could have cried. I had good teeth, not a rotten one in my head. I don't believe I ever did get over that. There I was, 5 months pregnant, trying to look like Jean Harlow and a front tooth gone. Everything went then. Looked like I just didn't care no more after that. I let my hair go back, played it up, and settled down to just being ugly. I still went to the pictures though, but the meanness got worse. I wanted my tooth back. Jolie poked fun at me and we started fighting again. I tried to kill him. He didn't hit me too hard because I was pregnant, I guess, but the fights. Once they got started up again, kept up, he began to make me madder than anything, I know it, and I couldn't keep my hands off him.